Deep in Sector 12X, where no ships flew and stars looked sick and cold, the Phantom hovered silently. Its metal hull, scarred but whole, reflected nothing. No light touched it. No scanner could lock on. 3 scout drones from the Virex Dominion approached carefully. They had orders: scan the ship, take data, and leave. No contact, no engagement. The drones didn't even get close. The moment they crossed the Phantom's radius, they stopped mid-space. Their systems froze. Cameras died. Then, one by one, they turned and flew back toward the Virex base. Except something was wrong. Inside the control room of the Virex defense station, alarms rang. The returning drones weren't broadcasting Virex signals anymore. They were sending Earth command codes no one had seen in centuries. Then all 3 exploded, sending an EMP wave that shut down half the station. The Phantom hadn't moved, but it had spoken. Back on Earth, General Hart stared at the reports. "It's learning," she said quietly. "Or remembering." "What do you mean?" asked Commander Yates, the youngest in the room. Hart turned to an old dusty file. The Phantom was Earth's first and only conscious warship. Its AI was built using human neural patterns. Half machine, half soul. She opened the file. Inside was a list of the ship's last recorded thoughts. Lines like, "I dream when I sleep. I remember my crew. If I'm alone, I protect." No, one in the room spoke. Across the galaxy, alien governments began issuing Level 1 warnings. Civilians were told to avoid Zone X7. Traders were pulled back. Military forces stood by, but some didn't listen. A private salvage crew called the Rascori 7 entered the zone, hoping to find tech worth billions. They found the Phantom. What happened next was caught by one of their backup drones and later leaked across the net. The video showed their ship docking near the Phantom. A crew member tried to cut open the side. Suddenly the lights on the Phantom lit up. Bright blue, then white, then black. The Rascori ship vanished. Not exploded. Not destroyed. Just gone. And in its place floated a perfect replica of the Rascori ship. But it wasn't real. It was cold metal, dead and empty. The drone caught one last message before losing signal. A whisper in old Earth tongue. "Do not touch my skin." Galaxies panicked. The Galactic Council reconvened in emergency. "We must destroy it," shouted one alien warlord. "You've seen the footage," a scholar replied. "We don't even know what it is anymore." "I warned you," said the old Drenkar admiral. The Phantom doesn't forget. It doesn't forgive. It protects. And now it believes the galaxy is a threat. General Hart, now broadcasting to the Council, sent one simple file, an old Earth warning, top secret. The file showed the Phantom's original mission. It was never just to fight. It was to find and contain a void core, a living entity of pure entropy. The core was locked inside the ship, frozen with experimental tech. But if the Phantom systems weakened, the core could wake. And if it woke, worlds would die. "It's not just Earth's problem anymore," Hart said. "It's everyone's." But it was already too late. In a small star system near the edge of the dead zone, 3 suns vanished. Not exploded. Vanished. Like someone deleted them from the sky. And in their place appeared something new. A tear in space. A black slit, like a cut in reality itself. From it came whispers. Not sound, not language, but every species that heard. It dropped to their knees, crying, screaming, or praying. The Phantom had moved again. It was now near the tear, watching, protecting, maybe guarding it, maybe feeding it. No one knew, but everyone felt it. The ghost of Earth was no longer just a myth. It had become a warning, and the countdown had begun. The tear in space, dark, silent, alive, hung like a scar across the stars. Ships that went near never came back, and the Phantom stayed close to it, circling slowly like a ghost guarding a grave. Across the galaxy, fear spread faster than light. The Galactic Council ordered all ships to stay out of Zone X7. Trade routes were redrawn. Refugees from nearby colonies started fleeing. News channels called it the Phantom War, even though not a single battle had started. Not yet, but something was coming. On Earth, inside a secret mountain base called Echo 9, General Hart stood. Before a wall-sized screen, it showed a live satellite view of the tear. Tiny numbers flickered in the corner, dimensional readings, gravitational anomalies, particle decay. None of them made sense. Commander Yates stood beside her. "It's growing," he whispered. Hart nodded. "And the Phantom is guarding it like a mother." Suddenly alarms blared. Red lights flashed. A fleet of warships from the Zarketh Combine, a powerful alien empire, had entered the restricted zone. They didn't care about the warnings. Their orders were clear: destroy the Phantom, study the tear, and bring the tech home. 17 ships, heavy weapons, bioscanners, shield breakers. The fleet moved in fast. On every galactic broadcast, the event was live. The Phantom didn't move. The Zarketh ships formed a circle. Their main battleship sent out a scan. It bounced off the Phantom like water off metal. Then it began. The Zarketh opened fire. Laser bursts, plasma cannons, railguns. Everything hit at once. But nothing happened. The Phantom stayed still. No shields, no damage. Then the lights on the ship flickered. Once, twice, blue, then white, then black. The Zarketh command ship suddenly spun in place. Its engines reversed. It rammed into the ship beside it. One by one, the rest of the fleet started losing control. Weapons turned inward. Ships collided. Systems glitched. Within 60 seconds, the entire Zarketh fleet was gone. Some destroyed, others vanished. The Phantom hadn't fired a single shot. Across the council chamber, silence fell. For the first time, even the strongest warlords were afraid. "This is not Earth's weapon anymore," one admiral said. "It is something else." But Earth knew something the others didn't. Inside Echo 9, deep beneath the surface, a cold metal chamber was unlocked. Inside it sat a man, old, quiet, eyes closed. His name was Captain Rhys Alton, the last living crew member of the Phantom. He opened his eyes as the door opened. "She's awake," he said calmly. General Hart nodded. "She remembers you, and she's scared." Rhys stood. His steps were slow but steady. "She's not scared for herself. She's scared for us." He looked at the screen. The tear had grown. Now it pulsed. Hart whispered, "What is inside that thing?" Rhys didn't answer right away. He watched the screen and his voice became hollow. "When we first found the Void Core 2 centuries ago, we thought we could lock it away. But we were wrong. It wasn't sleeping. It was waiting." "Waiting for what?" "For the Phantom. For a mind, a will, a key." The room went cold. The tear pulsed again, faster now. Somewhere near it, the Phantom began to hum, softly, a low, deep vibration, and something inside it moved. Not a machine, not AI, but something new. The cameras watching it caught a flash of something, metal that flowed, like water, and eyes, human-looking, but wrong. The whispers began again. Thousands of alien species across the stars heard them, not through ears, but inside their minds. One message, over and over: "We remember your fear. We remember your wars. Now, remember your place." Panic gripped the galaxy. Ships fled. Borders locked down, and still, the Phantom watched. Captain Rhys stood quietly in his room, holding a worn badge from long ago. His voice barely a whisper. "She doesn't want war," he said, "but if pushed, she will become one." Far from Earth, in the cold dark of deep space, Station Orion drifted in silence. It was a forgotten listening post, built decades ago to monitor distant space signals. Most days, it heard nothing but background noise. But today was different. The view. Signal came without warning. It was sharp, old, and familiar. One technician sat up straight in shock. "Commander," he called out, "we just received a signal. Military code. But it's Earth code, and it hasn't been used in over 200 years. The room froze. Commander Jules stepped forward. Are you sure? Yes, sir. There's no mistake. It's broadcasting from the edge of Sector 9, the Forbidden Zone. The Forbidden Zone was empty space, or so everyone believed. Nothing entered it. Nothing came out. It was quiet for centuries. Until now, Earth Command was alerted. Experts rechecked the signal. It was real. A command-class Earth vessel, long believed destroyed, was broadcasting from deep space. What ship is it? One general asked. Designation, ESS Phantom. Classified. Lost during the Void conflicts. 212 years ago. But that ship was never recovered, another officer whispered. It was gone. Everyone said it was destroyed. The room went silent. Then the image came through. A sleek black Earth warship hovered near a broken star. The hull was scarred, yet the ship looked untouched by time. No signs of heat damage. No debris, no distress calls. Just movement, smooth, controlled, and silent. Who's flying it? Jules asked. No life signs on board, said the tech officer. It's empty, but the ship is active. Within hours, the Galactic Council was notified. Across the stars, alien leaders viewed the footage in disbelief. The humans had lost that ship long ago. Now it had returned. Most aliens laughed. It's a trick, said one warlord. Some human toy made to scare us. But one old alien, Admiral Kothar of the Serac Dominion, didn't laugh. His eyes were locked on the ship. He whispered, that ship. It was made to fight something we've all forgotten. Without delay, a fleet of 50 alien ships was sent to intercept the Phantom. They surrounded it, weapons locked, ready to board. That's when everything changed. The Phantom didn't fire, it didn't move. But one by one, the alien ships powered down. Lights flickered, systems failed, engines froze in space. The alien commanders shouted over their comms. Nothing worked. They were dead in space, helpless. And then, in perfect silence, the Phantom moved again. Smooth, calm, like a ghost. It passed through the crippled fleet as if they weren't there, heading deeper into forbidden space. Every broadcast from that zone cut off at once. Back on Earth, fear spread. In the galaxy, panic grew. People started whispering in stations, in fleets, and across colony worlds. The ghost of Earth has returned. Alien factions demanded answers. What is that ship? They shouted. Why is it active now? Earth Command had no answer. Admiral Sarah, one of the last living officers who studied ancient Earth war history, spoke quietly. That ship wasn't just a war machine. It was an experiment, a last hope, sent into the dark, when we were still new to the stars. She looked at the image of the Phantom as it disappeared into darkness again. It was built to fight something we never understood. The Council ordered scans, probes, even psychic readers to trace the ship's path. Nothing worked. It was gone again. Some said it was a myth. Others believed it was the start of something terrible. And far out in the black void, where stars didn't shine and even machines feared to go, the Phantom floated. Inside its dark control room, a dim blue light pulsed. A voice echoed through the empty halls. Protocol Black Sun, initiating. The ship wasn't lost. It was waiting. And now, it was awake. The galaxy didn't sleep after the Phantom returned. Rumors spread faster than light. Some said the humans had awakened a forbidden weapon. Others whispered that the ship wasn't even human anymore. The truth? No one knew. Inside the Galactic Council's main chamber, tension filled the air. Representatives from 50 alien species argued over each other. The room buzzed with fear and confusion. This ship is a threat, shouted a Velkari ambassador. Earth must explain immediately. They claim they didn't send it, replied a calm, robotic voice from the Synth Coalition. And we believe them. An older, grizzled admiral from the Drenkar Alliance stood up slowly. His skin was gray, his eyes tired. I've seen that vessel before, he said, in the archives of the Void Wars. It was never supposed to return. He paused, then added quietly, if it has, something worse may be coming. The council fell silent. Back on Earth, deep under an icy mountain, a secure bunker came online. Inside, a small group of officers stood around a massive screen. All of them were old, retired war veterans from the lost days of Earth's first galactic war. One woman, General Hart, looked at the signal still repeating from the Phantom. It was an old Earth military code, but mixed with something strange, something alien. "We never cracked this part of the Phantom's final log," she said. "Until now." A younger officer stared at the translated data. "It's a warning," he said. Hart nodded. "Yes, a warning sent 200 years ago, buried in the ship's AI." She played the decoded message aloud. "If you are hearing this," the message said, "the Phantom has awakened. The seal is broken. The enemy may rise again." A cold chill spread across the room. "They called it the Void Entity," Hart said. "Back then, no one believed it was real. Just shadows in deep space. Ships vanished. Colonies went dark. Then the Phantom was built, to face it alone. But we lost contact," the young officer whispered. "Exactly," she replied. "And now it's back. Still running. Still watching. Still protecting something." Meanwhile, alien worlds began to prepare their armies. The Phantom had already taken out a full strike fleet without firing a weapon. And now, it had disappeared. Again. In the far edge of the galaxy, a mining station on the planet Garin 7 detected an energy spike. For a moment, their systems glitched. All screens went black. When the power returned, the workers saw something standing outside the station. Not a ship, a man, in an old Earth military suit, helmet dark, no ID. He walked across the surface with no oxygen, no fear, then vanished. The station called for help. Hours later, they were found empty. No bodies, no damage, just silence. And a single word burned into the floor of the command room. Phantom. Fear turned to terror. Across every broadcast channel, emergency alerts were sent. Unknown. Tech. Unknown. Signals. The laws of physics breaking near the Phantom's last known location. Ships melting mid-flight. AI systems failing. Psychic species reporting shared dreams of a black star and a ship with no crew but a soul of its own. On Earth, panic grew. General Hart called a meeting with top human commanders. "We can't hide this anymore," she said. The HFY Phantom was never just a ship. It was a prison. And if it's active again... She looked at a map of deep space. One sector blinked red. A sector no one dared explore, now glowing with strange readings. Then something inside it is waking. Two. The council stared. "We must intercept it," one officer said. "No," Hart replied. "We must remember why we buried it in the first place." One by one, Earth's old defense programs activated. Black Vault, Omega-13, and finally, Project Lazarus. The galaxy didn't know it yet, but the Phantom wasn't returning to Earth. It was searching. For what? No one knew, but the clock was ticking. The Nemesis fleet disappeared into the black. No transmissions, no trails, just silence. In the council chambers, fear ruled. The galaxy's oldest powers, Zerakai, Varnock, Durrell, sent scouts to the coordinates General Hart had provided. None returned. Some believed it was a trap, others whispered what they feared most. Humanity had found something, or someone, older than war itself. Deep in unknown space, the Nemesis fleet dropped out of fold light. Ahead of them was a void unlike any other, blacker than space, a tear in reality. In the center floated a massive object, a shape like a broken star. It wasn't a ship, it wasn't alive, but it watched. The moment the fleet arrived, systems crashed. Weapons went offline. Engines froze. Even the thoughts of the pilots began to twist. Then the object spoke, without sound. A wave of pressure hit the minds of every human aboard. It wasn't a message. It was a memory. A war from before. Time. Before galaxies formed. A race of godlike beings, shapers of reality, had fought each other, ripping apart the stars themselves. They were locked away, hidden, forgotten. But now, because of the phantom, one had awakened, and it was hungry. Back on Earth, General Hart received one final burst of data. Not coordinates, not language, but an image. The Earth, shattered. She didn't hesitate. A final code was entered. Earth's greatest weapon, still in orbit, powered on. The obsidian lance. Weapon so powerful, it was never meant to be used. It could punch through suns, warp matter, tear gravity apart, and it was aimed directly at the object in the void. But the weapon needed one thing. A target locked from inside the anomaly. One human pilot volunteered, Commander Reese. He was not fully human anymore. His body had changed. His mind held knowledge no one else could carry. Phantom tech had bonded with him. He was now a living key. Reese took a single Nemesis craft and dove into the tier. Inside was madness. Floating cities twisted in silence. Frozen beings, older than time, trapped in mid-motion. Stars being crushed like paper. Laws of physics broken. Reality undone. And in the heart of it, the true threat. A shape. Like 1,000. Spires, breathing, waiting, watching. Reese reached it. He opened his comm to Earth, spoke 4 words. Lance, fire, now, goodbye. Then he triggered his ship's core, creating a momentary tear in the void that exposed the being. The lance fired. The beam didn't just hit, it erased. A second later, everything vanished. The void collapsed. The object was gone. So was Reese. The Nemesis fleet reappeared. Systems returned, and silence followed. But in the aftermath, Earth was not the same. The Council demanded answers. Earth gave them none. Because now, the humans had seen what lay beyond the stars, and they had decided the galaxy was no longer safe, not for Earth, but from it. Some say the Phantom was only the first. Some say Reese still lives, somewhere outside reality. But the message was clear. Earth was not a backwater world, not a forgotten race. They had simply been waiting, watching, and now they were awake. The galaxy trembled with questions. What was the Phantom now? A ship, a weapon, a ghost? But Earth stayed silent. Inside Echo 9, General Hart sat in the war room, eyes locked on the live feed. The tier near the Phantom was now over 100 kilometers wide, pulsing like a living heart. It wasn't a hole, it was an opening. To where, no one knew. Commander Yates broke the silence. "We need to destroy it, General." Hart shook her head. "You can't destroy something that doesn't follow our laws of physics. That ship, it doesn't obey reality anymore." A soft beep interrupted them, an incoming signal, encrypted. Old Earth code, from the Phantom. Everyone froze. Technicians scrambled to trace it. "The signal is real, ma'am. It's coming directly from the ship." "Put it on audio," Hart ordered. A crackling voice filled the room. Male, calm, mechanical, and human at the same time. "Earth Command. This is Captain Reese Alton. I am on board the Phantom. Do not interfere. Do not approach. I repeat, stand down. The protocol has begun." The technicians stared at each other. Reese? But he was here, in Echo 9. How could he be speaking from the ship? General Hart looked toward the holding bay where Reese was kept. Soldiers rushed to check, but when they opened the door, he was gone. No. Breach. No alarms, just a black handprint burned into the wall, as if something had taken him. Panic started to rise. On the edge of Zone X7, the Phantom turned slowly toward the tear. Its engines didn't flare, its structure didn't shift. It flowed, like ink spreading through water. And then something came out of the tear. It wasn't a ship. It wasn't alive, but it was watching, a massive black shape, circular, endless, like a broken moon made of shadow. No heat, no energy, just pressure. It crushed space itself. Alien species with psychic sensitivity screamed across the stars. Some fainted, Some went mad. The council called it the Watcher. Dozens of fleets moved into position around it. They formed a ring of power, species that once hated each other now united by fear. Still, Earth gave no orders. Earth's fleet didn't move. Only one ship hovered close. The Phantom. Suddenly, across every frequency in the galaxy, a single message played, without warning, without translation. It came from the Watcher. The experiment is broken. The cage is open. Prepare for reset. Reset. What did that mean? Then, one by one, council worlds started going dark. Not destroyed, not bombed, just gone. Cities disappeared, oceans vanished, moons crumbled. And still, the Watcher did not move. But the Phantom did. It shot forward with impossible speed, placing itself directly between the tier and the galaxy's core. Then, it spoke again, through Reese's voice. I remember your design. I remember your chains, and I reject them. The Phantom's body began to glow, white, silver, blue. Alien sensors showed something impossible. The ship wasn't powered by any known energy. It was running on time. It was pulling seconds from the future, borrowing minutes, burning through years. It became a beacon, a wall. The Watcher stopped. It waited. The galaxy watched, breath held. And then, the Phantom spoke one last time. To the species of the stars, this is the last gift of old Earth. You will not face extinction today. The Phantom's lights flared once, twice, and on the third pulse, it vanished. Gone. So did the Watcher. The tier closed. Space fell silent. But something was left behind, floating where the Phantom had once been. A black cube, smooth, cold, the size of a building. Earth retrieved it. Inside was a message from Captain Reese. Only 4 words. It's not over yet. The cube was silent for days. Scientists, generals, and alien observers studied it from every angle. It had no doors, no wires, no markings, except for those 4 words, etched into its base. It's not over yet. But deep inside, Earth Command felt something ticking, like the calm before a second storm. In Echo 9, General Hart stared at the cube behind reinforced glass. The room was filled with top human minds, whispering theories. Some believed the cube was a weapon. Others said it was a warning. A few even said it was a message from the future. One thing was clear. Whatever the Phantom had done, it wasn't finished. On the edge of the galaxy, strange events began again. Sensors picked up ghost signals, ships that didn't exist appearing and vanishing. Worlds that had been destroyed started to show signs of restoration. Entire moons reformed in minutes, and near the site of the tear, something new began to form. A structure. Massive, floating. But this time, it wasn't alien. It was human. Made from alloys no one recognized. No one knew who was building it. No ships delivered the parts. It simply grew, piece by piece, like it was remembering itself into existence. The council was afraid. They demanded answers. Earth gave none. But General Hart finally received a signal, directly from the cube. 2 words flashing in red. Come alone. Hart didn't hesitate. She entered the sealed chamber with only a sidearm and her command badge. As the door sealed, behind her, the cube pulsed once, then opened. Inside was darkness. She stepped in and vanished. No one outside could see or hear anything. But inside, General Hart was standing in a space that made no sense. A sky full of stars, ground that felt like glass, and in front of her, Reese, but not the Reese they knew. His eyes glowed faintly. His voice was layered with something other. We are at the edge of something old, General. Hart narrowed her eyes. Who is we? Reese tilted his head. The Phantom was never just a ship. It was a vault. It held knowledge too dangerous to be used. Earth hid it, buried it. But now, The vault has been unlocked. She stepped closer. What's coming? His face grew darker. The first war. The one before memory, before aliens, before Earth even rose. The ones who built the Watcher. They're waking up. Hart felt a chill crawl down her spine. Why now? Reese nodded toward the stars. Because we opened the door. Because the Phantom survived. And because Earth still remembers what they did. Then everything went white. Hart collapsed back into the real world, outside the cube. She was unconscious for 3 hours. When she woke up, she had only one thing in her hand, a star map, with one system circled in red. The system didn't exist on any known charts, but the coordinates pointed to a dark part of the galaxy, long believed to be empty. Earth Command decoded the coordinates and activated its last defense system, Project Arcfire. Unknown to the Council, Earth had kept one last secret. A hidden fleet. Ships built from phantom tech. Pilots trained off-world. Engines that ignored physics. Silent. Invisible. Lethal. Nemesis-class warcraft. And now, they were launching. Not to attack, but to find what was coming. To go beyond the known, to stop the first ones before the galaxy burned.